You're welcome to Coding with Joe. So, in today's video, we'll be creating the payment contract. So, in the last video, we saw how to deploy our token contract. So, now let's create our payment contract. So, go to the contracts folder and you create the payment contract dot so, or you create it as the payment, not a folder, payment dot so. Good. So the first is our pragma. Let's take this so that we import SPTX license from MIT. MIT. Okay, let's put our version. If we check our hard config, you see our version is 0.8.20. 0.8.20. Okay, let's create our contract. What's called contract. Our name should be the same as the name of the file, which is payment. So let's import some standard smart contracts from OpenZipLin. I will put them in the description below. So we import enable from OpenZipLin and we import I ERC20 from OpenZipLin. Since our um, token contract is an ERC20, so we are using this interface to interact with that token contract, and also all stable coins created on the ETH chain uses this interface, so we can get access to the approve and allowance of any stable coin that is being deployed on the Ethereum chain. So we can so this payment contract will be able to work with any stable coin. Okay, so the first thing to do is the owner address, like we saw in our token contract video. Takes in the owner, enable owner. Good. So let's create some variables. So what do we want to do? We want to create a function whereby we can allow stablecoin addresses to be used in our smart contract. So we create a mapping that takes in an address, the mapping that takes in an address and extensible. Let's call it public, and we call it allowed token address. Allowed token address. So we use this to check if a stablecoin address has been allowed to be used in this smart contract. For example, if we have not allowed USDC to be used in this contract, where you try to use it for any payment, it will it will not work. So the next thing to do is let's create some events that we can emit. Call it token contract allowed, and this should take in we should have as parameters as argument address, and also the state of the address. If it's true or false, I'll call it bool. Okay, the next thing to work on is our constructor. We don't need to do anything here since we already calling the enable from ERC20 from open zipling. Sorry. Okay, so let's create the first function, which is function allowed allow token contract. Let me see. Let me put it like this: allow stable coin address. Yes, I think that is better. Allow stable coin address. So the function should take in a token address and a boolean fee, which can be true or false. So let's take in an address underscore token and a boolean fee, which is allowed. Okay, let's make the function public, and let's make it in such a way that only the owner of this smart contract can call this function. So let's use the only owner from open zipling enable contract. So let's call our allowed token address, which is this mapping we created, and we passing the token address, and then we passing the value allowed. So if we call this from our front end and we passing a stable coin address like USDC, and we say true, this it become true, and then we can now emit this or token contract allowed, which turn in the token contract and it is allowed. Okay, so we are done with this function. So we can now we can now set or we remove stable coins from our project. So if you don't want to use USDC, you can always pass false here and the USDC contract address. So I'm doing this so that we can specify the stable coins that we want to use. We don't just want any stable coin to be used as a means of payment in our smart contract. Okay, the next function to create is the deposit function, deposit payment, and and it takes in uh, the token address, the address to the address where the payment will be sent to, and the amount. So address underscore token, we have the address underscore two and the UN 256 underscore amount. I will be doing a tutorial course on solidity. So if you want to watch that, please subscribe and turn on notifications. That so once the tutorial course is out, you'll be notified. So let's call this public. Okay, so the first thing to do is to check if that token is allowed. So we use required allowed token address underscore token, and it should be true. If that is not true, we return the error. This stable coin is not allowed. Okay. The next thing to do is to check if our smart contract has the right to withdraw money from this stable coin. So to do that, we have to call the IER20 of that stable coin. Was it required ERC20 of the stable coin that we want to use, and then we check the allowance method, the allowance method, and the allowance method takes in as parameter the address of the person doing the payment and the address of the smart contract that wants to access that person's stablecoin address. So in Solidity, to get the person doing the transaction, we use message.sender, and then to have the address of our contract, we use address of this. So we need to make sure that the allowance is greater than or equals to the amount we want to withdraw. If not, we will say that if not, it returns that this contract is not allowed to withdraw from this token press. Okay. Okay, with that, the next thing to work on is to now do the transfer. So to transfer using our ERC20, we have to use the transfer form. All this method will be well explained in our Solidity tutorials. So we do bool success, and we use IERC20 of that token because we want to transfer money from IERC20 from a particular stable coin. And we use the transfer form method dot transfer form dot transfer form, and the transfer form takes three parameters: the person doing the transaction, the wallet you are sending the money to, and the amount. So do message dot sender. The wallet we are sending is a to wallet, and the amount is this. Okay, so we'll have to check if this was successful. If not, it should fail. So if we require success to be equal to true, and if success is not true, we say fail to deposit payment. So if this fails, everything will be resetted to default to how it was before the transaction started. So that is a safety mechanism that Solidity has, and then we have to emit a payment successful event. So let's create another event here for payment successfully. Payment successful. Yes, payment successful, and it should take the address from, the address to, and the amount. Address underscore from, address underscore to, and address underscore amount. So here, let's make that event payment successful, and we use the from, which is message dot sender underscore to, the to address, and the amount. So we in our front end we can get this event and show a success message. Okay, so let's also add these two functions. Let me copy some two functions and paste, and I'll explain. So we use these functions when we are creating a payment smart contract. So it aids in the receiving of token. Okay, so let me create one more function just to show us how we can create a function that keeps track of who is paying and that keep track of who did the payment. So we have to go and create another mapping, and we call it mapping should be addressed to int because we want to know the amount paid by the address. So we call this address to uint 256 public. I'll call this amount paid by address. Okay, we can as well just copy this function and we paste. And now we edit the name to deposit payment with tracking, deposit payment with tracking. Okay, we still take the token, the to address, and the amount, and we first of all check if that token is allowed, and we also check the allowance if it's greater than or equals to the amount, and then we also do the transfer form, and when it's successful before we update that our mapping we just created. If we to do that, we call amount created by address that takes in the address, which is message dot sender is equals to, let me do is plus equals to our amount. So whenever this person this address does a payment, we keep track of how much the address paid. So we did this after this because if this fails, the transaction has to start all over again, and we have to prevent hackers from updating this address without paying. So there's a hacking. I'll look into the right name, whereby the hacker can hack our smart contract and return before this payment. So for example, if we add this here, this the hacker can run these lines of code many times before this. So in other words, if you are creating a smart contract and you are creating a payment function that deducts from the wallet address, always make sure that this code, the code that you want to deduct from the address is after the payment. So with that, let's save our file and let's run npx compile. See if there are no errors in our code. Okay, there's an error. Let's see how to fix that. Is it not found? Okay, okay, I did not write it well. That npx hat compile. Okay, good. There's an error here. Triple equals to. Sorry about that. Okay, let's clear this. Clear npx hat compile. What again? Only. Honor. Oh, seems like I did not spell it well. Only honor. Okay, okay, I see it. I made an error. I have to inherit it here. Is unable. Sorry about that. For those who notice this mistake, please let me know in the comment section. So run npx hard compile amount is a emit successful message to amount. Oh, amount is uint 256. If you notice that, please let me know. npx hard compile. So it's always good to run npx hard compile after writing your code so that you are sure that everything is okay. So with that, we have come to the end of this video. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.